I'm Jenny Childs. I'm coming to you from doTERRA in West Virginia. I'm talking to you today about presenting. So you should be presenting a couple times a week at least. I saw Haley's message earlier this week saying that you should be presenting more than that. You should be presenting every day or a couple times a day if you're trying to rank advanced quickly. But whatever you are, how many ever times you're presenting a week, I'm going to give you my checklist of things that you need to present. So the first and most important thing you need to present is your set of oils. So this is how I like to bring my oils to a class. It's how I use them in my home, and it's really easy to pick up and carry. It's the full set of all the bottled oils, the roller balls. I have it in a separate container, but this is my set of oils that I take to class. I take a book, a resource book. This is going to come in really handy, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. A tear pad, and so my favorite one for most classes, or at very minimum the beginning class, is the Natural Solutions tear pad or handout. It has the kits in it, and it has the list of oils in it. So those are kind of the key components, but really there are a lot of different things that you could use for your tear pad, and I'm not 100%, it doesn't have to be this for me, but this is a convenient one to use. You need a product guide. This is important too. And then one other thing I like to carry with me is emotions, because occasionally you'll run into people where their predominant issues are emotions, or people who say like, oh, I really don't have any health concerns. And so even for the people who don't have any health concerns, there are always emotional issues that you can deal with, and they're usually with anybody, there's some kind of emotional issues. So I like to have this along with me all the time also. So to start a class, I always tell a little bit about myself, how I got started in doTERRA, about my love for doTERRA and the company. That should be just a little bit of your kind of introduction or beginning. I tell a little bit about what essential oils are, and this kind of depends on if there's people brand new, how much depth you go to. It depends on if there's people brand new or people who have been to a few classes before. But this is all covered in the front page, and the idea here is to get through this kind of quickly, because the meat of the class, or any class really, is getting to the inside and getting to the concerns that people have. So you want to spend most of your class time on individual people's concerns. So in this handout, there's spaces to write down your health priorities and why they're important to you, and then we'll come up with ways to deal with those health concerns in a little bit. They can be health concerns of themselves or their family. I heard a really neat idea recently at a training I was at, which was to do Post-it notes that have individual health concerns written on them and then put into a jar so that they could be anonymous. Somebody might not want to say, I have some mental health concerns, or I have some kind of issue that is embarrassing. I wet the bed or whatever. They might not want to say that out loud, so they might write it down and put it in the jar, and then you can take them and go through as your class proceeds and handle people's issues in that way, and people can take notes. One other thing that I really like about this particular Natural Solutions handout is that it has the list of oils. So any class that you're doing, having a list of oils is really key, because you want them to be able to take notes here and circle wish list items. You can also do that if you have product guides. If you had them for everyone, you could have them do it right in the product guide. But you always should have at least one product guide when you're doing a class. So after they've either written down their health concerns and put them in a jar, or have them on their handout, then it's very important that you show them how to be in control of your own health. So you want to look up the problem with them. So if you have the issue of bedwetting, then you want to look, you'll look under bladder and find bedwetting, and then you can read to them from the book. So it doesn't matter if you know what the recommendation is already. The important thing is that you show them that all the information that you would need is in a book. You can have a resource, and this can be your go-to, and you don't have to memorize everything. It's a lot of information, and people get really overwhelmed, especially at first. So showing them that you don't have to memorize everything. In fact, you can just find it right here. The other, of course, good thing about a book like this is it tells it tells about the oils. So if you ordered lime and you forget how to use lime, you can go here and look it up. So I like to cover this in the class, and then tell people how they can get a resource book from themselves. I've bought them in bulk before, but you can always send them to somewhere to buy a book of their own. It's pretty easy to do, and if people are investing in a lifestyle change, a $20-$25 book is not a big deal. So going through, introducing them, getting their own health concerns, showing them how to, going through the health concerns with them and showing them how to help their health concerns. And then the final thing would be listing out the product recommendations, and then individually with each person, seeing if a kit could maximize their spending or maximize their purchase, or whether they would want to create their own kit. And doing this on an individual basis works if you don't have too many people in your class. If you have a lot of people in your class, you might want to have either several helpers and go around and do it together, or have people start completing it on their own. So people can do this while you're working with somebody. You could have them going through a product guide or going through the pamphlet and picking out what they're interested in, so that way they're ready when you come to them to sit down and enroll. I always take my computer also, so I can enroll them right there on the spot. But if you have an enrollment form, actually this one doesn't have an enrollment form with it, but if you have an enrollment form, you can do it pencil paper as well. So I think that's what I have about presenting. I don't carry a huge bag of things with me to present. I carry my little setup right here, and I stack my computer on top, and this is my presentation kit. So it makes it easy to do several times a day or many times a week, and you don't have to worry about getting all your bags packed and having everything. It's a really quick, I can stick it in the car and I can be gone in 5 minutes. So it makes it really easy to do presentations really often. So I'm excited to hear your questions. I'm happy to interact with you. Let me know if you have key tips for presenting. I'd love to hear them too. And good luck on your journey with Launch Your Business.